It is 6:45. Welcome back to Great Day for this Wednesday. It's the 27th of May, and Wednesdays are great days to grow it. That's why Chuck Renes comes in from Renes Greenhouse over in Johnston is to give you some advice as to how to get things greener, bigger, brighter, and more beautiful.
Well, the best way to get things growing is if we'd have some warm weather, but they just don't seem to.
We got it today.
Well, we have the other half of it, though. We have the moisture.
We have the moisture.
I was going to say, I feel like yesterday made everything just really blossom and green.
It definitely made the grass grow. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
One thing I've been dying to ask you, I'm assuming your elephant ears still ain't doing
They're
too
not
much.
doing anything. I was going to ask you about that. They're in the dirt is what they are.
They need the heat. The moisture's there, but they just need the heat, and that'll come. They'll come, but it's same with the. We talked about the perennial hibiscus, and nothing. We just need some warm weather.
My hibiscus started.
They starting
leaf
to come
out a little bit. It does look like it'll get warmer in the middle or end of next week, like more at 80s.
Yeah, we need some nice warm sunshine is what we need. So, but
and have all your super hot peppers. Those are all planted in a nice sunny location, all tilled up real nice, and got them in the ground.
Mine. I noticed on mine, peppers in the greenhouse, they get a little bug called aphids on them. Mm-hmm. And I noticed mine was getting aphids, and I was thinking, I don't know where they come from, but they're just there. So I'm assuming they come in from the outside and then they're there. But I noticed I had some on mine, and I knew I needed to spray them, and I hadn't got around to it yet, but then I was checking them. Those aphids are actually dead now, and I'm assuming it's from eating eating that, because they
good for them.
That's what they eat, is the sap that's in those leaves. And I mean, those things are just deader than a doornail, and I assume it's just from eating that plant.
So that might be a tip for you. Plant those around your other plants and kill the aphids before they get in. So if the aphids
go there.
Wow.
Mine are in the greenhouse where it's warm and stuff, and they have a little different climate than being outside where it's hot. I actually have peppers starting to form on mine now. So I've got a little. Maybe next week I'll try to remember to bring one of those in. But I've actually got peppers starting to set on them now. So and they're not like a. Again, I didn't know what to expect, but they're not so much like a regular pepper that just has. These things have clusters of. I mean, I think there's going to be 100 peppers on there at a time. I mean, there's just the way those blooms hang and stuff. There's just going to be a lot of peppers on there at the same time.
See, I'm afraid to plant those because the kids would see them and they're colorful. I'm afraid they'd eat them and then scream for 2 hours.
No, they eat them once.
They don't eat them once.
They eat them once.
And I know you want to try one of those on air, but I'm going to caution you. I've talked to some people, and those are just some nasty, nasty things.
I want him to do it.
He said he would try.
Just for the sake of television.
Yeah.
So some things not blooming, but obviously things are definitely blooming over at the greenhouse.
There's just a couple things here that I wanted to bring in. It's amazing to me that some people don't really know how to take care of some of these hanging baskets and stuff. But one of the things I kind of wanted to show you, and I don't know if we're going to be able to point it out, but if you can kind of see on these leaves, if you can kind of see those brown spots on these leaves, how those are starting.
So some of the leaves are turning a little brown on the edges.
Yeah, getting a little brown on the edges. But what that is from these blossoms falling on there.
Okay, here, Craig. We'll show, you can't see it.
Oh yeah, okay. Now I see them.
What's wrong?
Can I pull this one off?
Yes.
The blossoms fall on the leaves.
Oh, here
we go.
So, well, it is if they lay there, and in the greenhouse they just have a tendency to lay there. But that is basically from these dead flowers falling on here. So the idea is, and it's been hard for me to keep this basket looking this crappy this long, but what you want to do, you always want to go in and keep these pulled off. And I've had people come.
If they're brown or all?
Yes, when that flower starts to get bad.
Okay.
That's that will keep the new flowers coming on more. A lot of people have a tendency. I've had people come in and they just take these like this, and then the basket looks like heck. What you want to do is just bust those off way down there. Just go clear down.
The flowers the flowers are how the plant's trying to make more plants.
Yes,
and
I mean,
if you break those off, the plant says,
"This is where." That's right. This is where the seeds is, and if you let these go to this stage, the plant says to itself, this is my mission in life, is to produce more seeds.
I've done my job,
and I've done my job, so it quits throwing out blooms. But the better you keep them
Trim back.
Now, why are you
trimmed
doing
back.
that one? That one's not brown.
Well, it's getting
Don't
brown.
yell at Chuck.
Well, I'm just curious because
And again, the better, and especially with white, because you want to keep, you just want to keep those bad things off there, and that way your basket will just look nice and fresh.
And how long will it take
Yeah, I
to
never
regrow
would've taken
these?
that one.
If you do a good job and you should never let it get like this. Where all those bad ones are on there. So the better you keep them picked off, these are always regenerating and putting out more blooms.
And this is true of a lot of flowers, too.
Yes.
Well, I was kind of off topic. Is this true for tomato plants as well? That you just want to keep the blossoms on top and don't have a lot of extra sprouts?
You know, a lot of people say that. I'm not convinced of that. I think, those tomatoes will, if they're going to be, if it's blooming where the blooms are down in the dirt and stuff, take them off, because those ain't going to make any good tomatoes anyway, because they're down so low.
Okay.
But let them bloom and do what they
So
want to do.
pull the suckers off then.
Yeah,
Okay.
let them do what they want
So,
to do.
and if you're also pulling off the flowers that are going a little brown, that's also going to help your leaves stay green.
Yes, and
as well.
that'll keep this stuff from falling on those leaves and setting there and discoloring them.
Oh.
So,
That I didn't know.
we can make that. But you see, that's a lot nicer basket when it looks like that,
Yeah.
as opposed to looking
know, I
like
kinda
that.
like the other- oh.
So, well,
here,
that's expected.
Here's some flowers for you, Jackie. Here you go. Here you go.
She's used to having things that are dead around.
It's like Morticia
Yeah.
over here.
This is like at my house.
So what else did you bring in
Well,
today?
then I brought one of these petunia baskets in, and
That's
again,
huge.
these are nice and everything, but to a lot of people, those get too long.
Yeah.
And again, that's something you can just take your snippers, snip them off. The better you keep that trimmed up, and keep your foliage up here.
The fuller will get on top?
The fuller it'll get on top and stuff. Now, a lot of people, if you hang that up high, you're never going to see the top. So all this looks good anyway.
Yeah, I'd say
this
more
is
the
what you
better.
want to look at. So just let it grow. My purple waves, like I say, that I have out at the greenhouse, they'll touch the ground by the end of the season.
That is so cool.
But
And you
again,
fertilize when you water those,
yeah,
right?
every time. Again,
Every time.
with Jack's, every time we water, and I meant to bring a can of that but you know what that looks like. I brought it down here enough.
And how much is Jack's for a tub?
It's $10 for, I think it's a 1.5 pound tub, and that'll should last you most of the season.
Yeah, a long time.
So that works good too. So,
Wow.
but those are two things. Maintaining your baskets especially is. It's critical to keeping nice baskets and stuff, and kind of like with your hibiscus. Now you took that home, and I assume you've had it is still with us.
It is still
correct?
with us.
Okay.
I've lost quite a few blooms, but
again,
you said I would.
and that's what I was going to say. Those are going to fall off. You clean them up, but it needs the warm weather too. But once we get into that,
I think it's waiting for some sunshine.
Once we get into that sunshine and heat, those blooms are always on there. So
you go.
that's a good thing too.
All right, so where can people come visit you at?
Well, we are at, I'm out in Johnston at 9401 Northwest 70th, which is just west of Camp Dodge. Our Boonville greenhouse is still opened, and Jackie and Gary are down there. She got some great deals going on down there. That greenhouse will be opened through Sunday.
Through Sunday.
And then that will be that until next spring. So, but it'll be there through Sunday, and there's still a ton of nice stuff down there, a lot of nice baskets, and like I say, Jackie and Gary got some great deals down there. So stop down and see them, or come see Joyce and I in Dugan out in Johnston.
Yay.
There you go. Perfect. Good job as always.
Thank you, guys.
It is 6:53. We'll be right back. Totally serious news coming up next. Why you shouldn't drink that cup of coffee first thing when you get up. Next on Great Day.